star, you can't stop my shine. I'm loving cloud city, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm solo, I'm on solo, I'm on solo, solo. Yeah. Oh man. I thought it was wrong. Okay. Oh. Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian from Kingdom Hearts and Cross Nation. In today's video, we are going over the medal analysis for Master Xehanort EX. Just to talk about the intro real quick, I was watching some Video Game Donkey, and I was watching his videos about the Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, and like, I heard that song. I don't know, I had to listen to it. It was great. Anyways, we're going over that medal today for today's medal analysis, and I know a lot of you have been looking for quite a while now, and I'm kind of excited myself to go over this because this is a really good medal. Anyways, just like usual, I have it here on my website at khuxnation.com. Go ahead and feel free to check it out. If it's not on the homepage of the website, because I usually keep my most recent updates available on the website for you to look at, you can always go ahead and check out the article in the link in the description below. But other than that, let's get started on the actual medal analysis. But just to go over the medal like always, Master Xehanort EX is a magic reverse medal tier 7 AoE and has a max multiplier of 4.18. You're pretty much going to get that multiplier most consistently. And uses 3 gauges, and this is what he does. For 2 turns, he raises reverse strength by 2 tiers and magic strength by 7 tiers. He lowers target's defense and magic defense by 2 tiers, and he inflicts more damage the higher your HP. And just for reference as well, he has a score of 41.391. There's a few reasons why this is a really good medal. Honestly, there's two of them that are the main factors for why this is a really good medal and is very powerful. And some of the others are just like, they're just there and help out a lot. And that would be mainly because of the fact that he raises reverse strength by 2 tiers, okay? And that's one of them. The other one is his multiplier, his total max multiplier, I should say. And we're looking at the high end of it because of the fact that he inflicts more damage the higher your HP. And whenever you see medals like that, you're pretty much guaranteed to get that high end of the multiplier spectrum very consistently. Considering, especially because of the fact that like nowadays we're pretty much getting one-shotted by enemies anyways, you don't really have to worry about having low HP for the most part, most of the time. The biggest thing you can compare Master Xehanort to is he's pretty much just a magic version of the dual-wield Roxas EX medal that we got like not so long ago. He literally has like almost the same exact stats, does almost the exact same thing too. He's just a magic version. Like straight up. So he actually works really well in quite a few of different setups. I'm not going to go into those setups really too much in this video because the fact this is the medal analysis video and this is more looking at like what the strengths and weaknesses of like individual medals and stuff like that. So, however, I will be going over some of the best reverse strategies for medals and Keyblades in a later video. So just like we had the what the current meta Keyblades and setups were in a video about like 2-3 weeks ago or so, like a while ago. I'm also gonna do like the same thing but specifically for reverse strategy. So it's gonna be an exciting topic to talk about because I myself, I'm a big fan of reverse medals. I just wish there was a little bit more support to help push them, but we're starting to finally see at least a little bit of support for that, which is a good thing. But in terms of Master Xehanort himself, okay, the main things you want to be aware of when using this medal is the fact that just like dual-wield Roxas, is that he lacks any type of general strength buffs whatsoever, okay? So when you go ahead and use them in your setup, you need to make sure you have some type of medals to help make up for that. Obviously, if you have Kyrie or Shiron EX, you don't have to worry about that. But for those of you that don't have them, that's something you need to be concerned about because he already maxes out your magic strength buff, so you don't have to worry about that. So you need to worry about your strength buffs instead. So things like medals like Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Kyrie or Ariel, those 2 medals would be really good for helping quickly max out or near max out your strength if possible. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to my tier 7 spreadsheet because I want to show you guys, just like always, how he compares compared to other metals. All right. Now, all right, so I already have my spreadsheet organized by score. And if we go ahead and look at Master Xehanort, in terms of score, he's right here near the middle-ish. Okay. But one thing we want to make note of is the fact that he has a score of 41 point blah blah blah. Okay. And I've somewhat stated it before in the past, but usually a good way to gauge whether or not how good a tier 7 metal is basically to judge it depending on like around where is it in the 40 range. If it's around the 40 range or higher, obviously, it's an average or better tier 7 metal. Okay. If it's below the average 40 range, okay, then it's not a very good tier 7 metal in general. Okay, that's the key word, in general. Okay, obviously you could have setups and strategies to help support metals with lower scores, but in terms of like in general setups and such, the scores are a great way to help you know which ones tend to be better to you in general. But of course, most metals have some type of use. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how to best use them. So yeah, just taking a look back at the spreadsheets, you can see here, like I mentioned before, he's in the middle, but he's pretty much grouped up with like the rest of the EX metals, and that's kind of to be expected. He is an EX metal, and just kind of like I mentioned before, he's right next to dual-wield Roxas, which makes complete sense because, like I said, he's literally almost an exact copy. Like you can see their multipliers. Their multipliers are the exact same. Yeah, their multipliers are exact same right here. Their scores are almost practically exactly the same. It's literally 0.003 off. Like that's nothing. But you can see like right below it are the like non-EX, some of the best non-EX metals are like Hercules B, Valor, Genie, Launchpad McQuack, Huey Dewey Louie, like some of the more recent metals and stuff. Like you can see that right there. Like, and then he's like just grouped up with the EX. So in terms of score, he's where I would expect him to be. He's not just like outrageously out of place or anything, but no, he's literally exactly where I expected him to be. It makes sense where he is, and I'm happy with it. So aside from score, there's also something else I want to show you guys, and that is in terms of his multiplier. Okay, so we go ahead and take a look at the total max multiplier. So I have it organized by total max multiplier already. So you're pretty much gonna get the high end of his multiplier pretty much almost all of the time. So when you take his tier level into account, so the 200% guilt percentage times his max multiplier, you get a multiplier of 12.54, which is really high for a metal right now. Usually any metals that have anywhere from a total max multiplier of 11 or 12 or higher, those are the type of damaged metals that you want to try using. Okay, and there's only a handful of metals that even remotely get into like the 13 or higher range, to be honest. Consistently, I should add too. But yeah, he has a total max multiplier of 12.54. Something I do want to note though is when like just taking those multipliers into account. Okay, if we take a look at the attributes, okay, he is the first magic reverse metal to pop up amongst the highest. So in terms of tier 7 metals, he is the strongest magic reversed tier 7 metal that we possess in the game right now. Okay, however, I want to take it a step further and show and compare it to all existing metals in general, because I know some of you might be curious as to whether or not he might be stronger compared to other metals such as like the Trickmaster and such, because of the fact that Trickmaster does have a max multiplier of 4.8, but whether or not he ends up doing more damage based off multiplier because of his tier level, that's a different story, and that's something worth considering. So I finally actually finished putting together the alternative total max multiplier section for all of my spreadsheets. So I now have it added on the all metals categories as well. So on the all metals spreadsheet that I have on the all metals categories, like I have shown here on my screen, we can actually finally take a look at some of the actual best metals in the game in terms of multipliers. So right now we're going to organize it by total max multiplier. We'll do descending. It's loading. All right. So now it's organized it by total max multiplier. Let's take a look. So if we take a look right here, Master Xehanort is right here, and he's pretty much near the top. There's only a few medals that actually beat him that we might not have been expecting, like Illustrated Terra B, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Donald and Goofy, and Lingering Will. Those are probably the 3 medals that we probably were not expecting to pop up. But the rest were to be expected, such as the Illustrated Halloween and Donald Goofy medals, the Illustrated Goofy and Donald medals, the Hercules B and Valor Genie. Those ones we're kind of expecting because they are tier 7 and such. So that's just in terms of total max multiplier. However, in terms of situations and whether or not you want to consider other medals, say, like, for example, you want to consider whether or not it's better than HD Final Form Sora, Kingdom Hearts 2 HD Leon, whatever his name is, like those type of medals, the HDP. So we can actually go ahead and organize it by alternative total max multiplier, because this section of the spreadsheet will actually take into account those like situational case multipliers. So we're going to go ahead and organize it, and we're going to see where he pops up. So we can see that the HD Final Form Sora, like that whole section is like right here. And I'm trying to look for Xehanort. Okay, so Xehanort actually ends up a little bit further down, which it makes a little sense because there's actually a lot more medals with super situational high-end multipliers than we were expecting. However, I do want to state, and I do want you to keep this in mind, that even though a lot of medals might have popped up with higher multipliers, a lot of those medals can easily be medals with super specific conditions in order to meet those higher end multipliers. So like, for example, we have the HDEX foreteller medals right here. Okay, I'm pretty sure that to get those high end of the multipliers, so like the 13.56 that they have, in order to reach those high end of the multipliers, you need to be facing a singular opponent, such as like a raid boss, for example. That is the only way to reach the high end of the multiplier. As well as, let's take, for example, the Psyx B medal, okay? That medal, you need to have as many gauges full as possible. So if you want that high end of the multiplier, you need to have all your gauges full when you use them. So like, I hope you can see where I'm trying to come from. They're like, just because it shows medals with higher multipliers than Master Xehanort EX on the spreadsheet, you need to also take into account what those actual conditions are when using the alternative total max multiplier sorting thing here on the spreadsheet. Anyways, in terms of this video, in context of this video, I'd say the main medals that we want to look at to see which ones are better, to see which ones are worth like using and stuff like that, let's go ahead and just take a look at the Magic Reverse medals first. Okay, we want to see whether what are the best damage medals in terms of Magic Reverse medals. So if we go ahead and take a look, so if we actually take a look down the list, okay, the first reverse medal we see is HD Larxene, but that's a speed medal, so that doesn't count. We're looking for Magic Reverse. We see a Power Reverse with a Psyx B, but that's not magic, so that doesn't count. So the actual first Magic Reverse medal that we see is Master Xehanort, okay? And we are looking at the alternative total max multiplier section organized from best to worst, okay? So when you realize this, okay, when you see that, what that tells you right there is that at the moment, if you can get a gilted, like fully max gilted Master Xehanort EX medal, that is the strongest Magic Reverse medal currently in the game. With all the Magic Reverse medal support that we've been getting recently, Keyblades such as the Diamond Dust will soon become really good Keyblades. Like right now, the Dark Gnaw is an okay Keyblade for Power Reverse medals. Like it's actually doing fairly decently and can be pretty strong. But I would say that the Diamond Dust, once the next set of Proud Mode quest comes out, so we can finally like start upgrading our Diamond Dust again, Diamond Dust will sooner or later start becoming a Keyblade that's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So just like before, if we just want to look at reverse medals in general, okay, there was only 2 other reverse medals that popped up. That was Psyx B, whose condition to meet his alternative max multiplier is to be used with as many gauges full as possible. And the other one was HT Larxene, which is actually the opposite, which is the more gauges that have been used, and I believe the cap is 10. But yeah, she's actually the opposite, where the more gauges that have been used that turn ends up meaning what multiplier she ends up using. I believe it's 10, so let's just, for the sake of this conversation, it's 10. If you end up using 10 or more gauges, you will get the highest end of her multiplier. But in terms of consistency, Master Xehanort is the best reverse metal that you can use in the game at the moment. So that's it in terms of multiplier. The only thing I want to add is, I didn't really talk about it too much, but because of the fact that we have the reverse strength buff for Master Xehanort EX, he buffs us by 2 tiers in reverse. Typically, the strategy you want to end up using with him is try to copy him as much as possible, or use other models such as Xion EX and such to try and get as much of the reverse buffs as possible, and then have a completely reverse metal strategy to just help maximize it. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. My name is Brian from Xehanort Across the Nation. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe and hit that bell button. It's the best way to know when I upload a video. My schedule has been kind of wonky lately, so I've been uploading late at night rather than like in the morning like I used to. But I'm hoping to try to possibly fix that sometime soon. But hitting that bell button is the best way to know when I upload a video. But other than that, that's it for today, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm solo.